My name is Brandon Camp, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Storied. Today, we're excited to show you some of the new features we've been working on since last year at Roots Tech, including hints, newspaper matches, and my personal favorite, our new keepsake storied books. Our goal has been to find a way to make family history more accessible to people around the world and those that are new to the category, while still providing enough features and content to make it a great platform or tool for serious genealogists, all while doing that at an affordable price. Rather than tell you about all the things that we've done, we thought it might be more fun to show you. So I've asked Heather Hunnert, our in-house genealogist, to take you through the product and show you some of the things that we've done. All right, Heather, take it away.
Hi, everyone. My name is Heather Hunnert, and I'm here today to share with you all about Storied. Very excited to take you on a tour of what we like to refer to as an end-to-end solution for family history. So let's get started. The first thing I would like to talk about is the story feed. So the story feed is going to be this section here in the middle of your account when you're logged in, and a story feed is personalized. It's personalized to you. So your story feed would look different than my story feed. This is going to be all of the stories that I have written, stories of the people that I follow, and stories of the people that are in groups with me. Now, this is going to be in chronological order, meaning that the stories that are at the top are going to be the most recent stories. So you can just scroll down and see all the stories in the order that they have been added to Storied. This is a nice touch at the beginning that you can really interact with this story. Now, this is just a short snippet of the whole story that you can see here. You can click on it and it will take you to the entire story, or if you just want to react to it just from what you see here, you can like a story and you can also comment on a story. So when I clicked on the comment, that took me to the actual story where I can see everything about the story, additional pictures. Read this, I can see that there's a like, and then I can comment here at the bottom. I can also see who is in the story, so people can be tagged to a story from your family tree. Even people that aren't in your family tree can be tagged, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. So this is what you would see in a story. So the story feed personalized for you based on who you follow, your stories in your groups, and mine will look different than yours. So that's the story feed. The next thing I want to talk about over here on the right-hand side, or I'm sorry, left-hand side, is our navigation panel. So the navigation panel allows you to quickly and easily get to different parts of the Storied website. So the first thing that you can go to is My Stories. That's going to be all of the stories that you have written. My Scrapbook, that's going to be where you've uploaded any photos or files or audio. That's where newspaper clippings, you'll find those there. And then you can see your family trees, and we will dive into that a little bit further. You have groups that you're part of, and then you have a search option for historical records, newspapers, and then the print option with our new Storied books. We're going to talk about all of these different features. I want to focus right now on historical records search. So a historical record search is going to allow you to do just a basic broad search of all of the historical records that we have available at Storied. You can do an advanced search, so that lets you add some additional filters in to your search. You can also search by collections. So you can see here, if you wanted to search only in the 1950 census, you could do that. You can also search by record types. So if I came down here and clicked on birth, marriage, and death records, you'll see that that has populated here at the top of my search, and that I'm only going to be searching in those types of records at Storied. So several different options for you to search the historical records we have available in our collection. The other thing that you can search are newspapers, and newspapers, it's our sister site, Newspaper Archive. It's integrated straight into the Storied platform, which I love. I love to search newspapers, and being able to do that right inside the Storied platform makes it super quick and easy. If you've used Newspaper Archive before, you'll see that the search filters are very similar, look almost identical to the ones over on Newspaper Archive. So you can search with filters, And then you can also search by location. So those are two search options for different types of records that you can find at Storied. What about groups? So I mentioned that when I was talking about the story feed. So groups are things that are groups of people. They are private and they are either sponsored by you, so you can create your own groups, or you can be part of a group that someone else sponsors. So I'm going to show you a group that I've created here called the Hamiltons. And again, this is a totally private space within Story that is only for group members. You see, I have a story feed here as well. This story feed is only stories that have been added as part of the group. And we'll talk about that and you'll see how I could do that later on, a story to a group. But this is only for people in the group, and these are only the stories that have been shared with that group. So this is a story feed. Again, they would be chronologically listed. You can also do stories, and it's going to show you all stories that are part of the group. Scrapbook is going to be any of the photos, newspaper clippings that you have available for that particular group. And then you'll be able to see the members of the group. To invite someone to a group, super quick and easy. You'll notice up here in the upper right-hand corner that we have a blue invite button. And when you click on that, you just put the person's name in, email, and they'll get a link to join your group for free. It doesn't cost them to be part of your group. I also want to share something that I just think is amazing and a great part of a family tree that's not available on other sites. So let's say you have a person, I'm going to click on this person in my tree and I'm going to view their profile. Let's say that I have someone that is an important part of my family, but they're not my family. Maybe it was someone that was friends with a relative or a neighbor, a business associate, even a pet. And other sites don't let you attach those types of people to your family tree. Well, with Storied, you can add those relationships. So if I look at this person, this is their details page. They also have stories that are specifically tagged to them, a scrapbook that's specifically for them, and then you'll have relationships. If I click on relationships, you can see I've added a couple here. I've got a friend that I added, and I even added a pet. I've got lots of choices for different kind of categories of people that you want to add relationships to, but then there's also an other, and I really like the other feature. If you think about, let's say you went to summer camp and you had a group of friends from summer camp and you wanted to specifically note that they were friends from summer camp. If you choose an other relationship, that is something that you can add. So it's going to connect this relationship to this person. If I were to click other relationship, I can put in summer camp, sorority sister, whatever I want as my other for that. And click next. You can put in as little or as much information as you want here. You can just put the name, save it, and then that person is going to show up and you can see their relationship is called summer camp. So relationships are a great feature. And where this really ties in well is if I were to go back to my stories, and if I click on one and I look and I see that I had in this story were people that were from my tree, I can also add those people that were a different relationship to that story. And I'll show you how to do that on the fly here a little bit later. So those are kind of the basic features of the Storied platform, but with Roots Tech, we have some really exciting new features that we are unveiling, and I want to share those with you today. So the first one is, normally if you want to start a tree, you'd click on your family trees here, and I already have a tree, so this is popping up. But if I wanted to click on Start a Tree, normally you can enter one manually or upload a GEDCOM, and we do offer both of those options. However, we are unveiling something very exciting. We have Start a Tree, upload a GEDCOM, and now we have import from Family Search. So if you can easily click on import from Family Search here, log into Family Search with your credentials, and your tree will be uploaded to Storied from Family Search. So a quick and easy way for you to get a tree, and we are so excited about this integration with Family Search. So that's adding trees. Well, what about getting hints for other people? So we've had hints on Storied, but I want to show you how we're going to talk about some different types of hinting that are available with our newest, latest, and greatest storied version. So I'm coming over here to a person that's in my tree, and we talked already about their stories and their scrapbook page and their details and relationships, but they also have a page that's called hints. So if I click on hints, hints are going to tell me where the hints are coming from. So I've got family search, family tree hints. I might have a census hint. I might have Social Security Death Index, whatever collection is that is hinting, any hint will show up on this tab for that person. Well, how do I know if a person has a hint? So from your family tree view, you'll notice that a lot of these have the blue and white light bulb icon. That blue and white light bulb icon lets you know by clicking on it that that person has hints, and it will take you straight to their hints page. You can see this person has 3 different kinds of hints. You can review them, discard them if they aren't correct. If you review them and they are correct, then you can save them to your person. So you can see here, these are hints. You can have saved hints and then your discarded hints. The other exciting thing is if you have been on Family Search, you might know about something that's called memories. Memories on Family Search are things like photos, stories, audio files, and even PDFs that people have added to create a really enriching experience. Well, we now have these, what I like to refer to as super hints, that are available from Family Search and can be brought straight in to your Storied account. So this is an example here that this particular person is showing that they have 6 memories from Family Search that are available, and I can review those, and those will come straight into my Storied account as photos, as stories, as audio files, and PDFs. So a very exciting feature that we are so excited to have available for those people that have Family Search trees and memories. Another thing that is possible with hinting is what we like to call newspaper searches. So I'm actually going to go out to this account and show you what that looks like from the home page. So from the home page, I've got over here newspaper matches. So these are people that have a new newspaper match with the newspaper archive integration. So what that looks like on the hints page, if you scroll down, you can see that this individual has 778 newspaper matches. And from the home page, I could see that too. So you can see that people have different numbers of newspaper matches. This one for Dorothy has 4, James has 108, Roy has 1. So this particular person has 778 matches. We look at things like location that a person lived, their birth date, marriage dates, death dates. And so they're going to be sorted, these matches. This person has 778 matches for just one location. When you click on these matches, it's going to bring up the thumbnails from Newspaper Archive, the publication it's from, the date, where it was, and then just a little blurb about that. You can actually click on it, see it, and bring that straight into your Storied account. So it really works seamlessly with this integration, and it's very exciting. So I've worked in genealogy for a long time, more than 25 years. I've been doing my own family history research. And one thing I can say that's pretty amazing about newspaper matches here at Storied is with our team members, I have people on a daily basis say, I found a newspaper clipping about an ancestor that I've never seen before. So that's a super exciting thing for me and for them to be able to find something that's new and exciting that they haven't ever seen before. So that integration again with Newspaper Archive makes it really exciting and special. Let's talk a little bit about writing stories. So if I want to tell a story, I can do that from my homepage on Storied. And so here are just some new features that we have available. We have the media where you can upload your photos. You can add a story title. We have type ahead location, we have date, and then you can either type your story or paste it in here. So we're going to start with just a regular story that I am copying and pasting just to make it quick. So some things I can do, I'm going to put Old Decatur County, give it a title. I'm going to add a photo. I can select existing, which would allow me to choose a photo that's already in my scrapbook, or I can upload a new one, and I'm going to upload a new one to this. I can put in a location. My type ahead location lets me start to type a location, and then it's going to give me some options that pop up. I'm going to put in a date. This is the 1820s. I'm going to be kind of general there. And so then we also have some formatting options that are new. So you can choose to bold something. It can be italics. You can underline it. We also have the option to do bulleted list or numbered lists. So lots of different features with the formatting that are new and available for your story. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the rest of the process for this story, just so you can see some things that we've talked about in the video. So here, this is who is my story author. I'm going to make it be me. You could choose someone else. So maybe you're telling a story that somebody else wrote, maybe an ancestor. You can put that in there. This is where you can add who is in this story. So it's going to be a type ahead feature as well. And when you start typing in, you're going to get some options here. You can put multiple people here. And this is where I talked about, well, what if I wanted to add somebody on the fly? So I do, and it's going to give me a type ahead because I have options for that. But I'm going to type in my dog and I'm going to add him here. And I'm going to connect him to Heather. So you can ask who he's being connected to. And then what is our relationship? And he is my pet. So he's male and he's a dog, and I can save that. So I have just added George on the fly as part of my story. So you can add them when you're adding relationships on the relationships tab for your people, or if you're writing a story, you can add them at that time. You can choose categories for your stories. This helps sort later on, but it's optional. You don't have to. Click on next. How do I want to publish my story? I can make it public or private. And then this is where I was talking about the Hamilton group that I had. If I wanted to take this story and send it to that group, not only is it going to be part of my stories, if I put a check here, it's also going to be part of that group stories. And I can choose multiples. I could do both if I wanted to. I'm going to click done and it's saving. Now we do have an auto save feature that as you're working on a story, if you don't quite get finished and you don't want to go through, all the way to the end of the story, it will save as a draft. And I can show you how that looks here in just a few minutes. So here's my story now in my story feed that I just added. So quick and easy. All right. Another thing that I could do when I tell a story is I can use Story Assist. A lot of people have trouble kind of getting started with a story. So Story Assist is using AI technology to help you write that story. So here's what Story Assist looks like. I'm going to choose a tone and I'm going to say this is a funny story. Choose the narrator. I'm going to tell this story. And this is about missing front teeth. You can add up to 5 different details in this section here for your story. And they can be as long as you want them to be, or they can be as short as you want them to be, but you do only get 5. So that's why I tend to make mine, and I'm just copying and pasting them over. I do tend to make mine kind of long so I can get lots of good juicy details in with my story. Now, we always talk about this part of making the story and using the AI as really a rough draft. So when I generate this, I've got my details in here. I'm going to generate the draft. It's likely that it's not going to be a perfect story, but at least it gets you started and gives you a jump start in writing your story. So this is what came out about it. So this is an interesting piece. It was talking about my brother and I. And so it says there lived a duo named Jack and Jill. Well, that is not our names. It's Nick and Heather. So I did not include that anywhere when I was adding details for my story. So I could go in and change those. But again, it's a great way just to get kind of a jump start for a story. Now, I'm not going to finish this story. I'm going to close out, but notice I do have an indicator up here on the upper left that tells me that it's saved. So if I click on my stories, I have that draft version of that story that's available that I can come back to at another time. Now, I talked earlier about how Storied is really what we are calling an end-to-end solution for family history. So you've got records, you've got stories, and now let's put those all together and create a book with our storied book feature. So over on the left-hand side in the navigation panel, we have print storied books. So with an annual subscription to Storied, you do get a credit for a storied book, and making storied books is so quick and easy. You'll notice that down here, I've got draft projects, so I can pick up where I left off. So if I'm working on one and I haven't quite finished, then I can have it here in this draft project form, and I can come back to it at a later time. But let's just start from scratch so you can see how quick and easy it is to build a book. So all of the stories that are part of your account are going to show up here, and they are sorted. So these are the stories that I have written, and then you're going to see all of my groups. So my groups and my group stories are going to be listed out for me. You can choose any story that you want. They can be the ones you've done. They can be ones that are part of a group. Any story that you want that's within your account can be accessed. So I'm going to choose my stories, and then I'm going to choose next. This is where I can drag and drop them. So I can reorder them super quick and easy wherever I want them to create the order for my story. Where this makes it really nice, sometimes I create stories that are chronological in nature. And so I might start my book, but not have all of my stories complete yet, so that I can always come back in here, add the stories that I want, and then reorder them to match that, the chronological order. So you can always come back in and change things. So this is the order that I want. I'm going to click on next. And then this is the kind of cover options for the stories. The book comes with 200 pages standard. You don't have to do 200 pages. It can be less pages than that if 200 seems daunting to you. So you've got, you can create a title, the Hamilton stories. You can do a subtitle for your story. And then you could do a forward if you want to. You have options for your cover. So you can do no image, which is what we have now. You can do full page image, and you can do a half page image. So whatever suits your desires for your book. And then we have 20 different custom colors that you can choose from to create your book cover. So lots of options here. And that's it. The next button takes you to the order page. So again, super quick and easy to put your book together. And notice now, here's the one that I created, and it is now in my draft projects form. A couple more things with books that I want to share that are so exciting, that just really kind of take it up a notch. So I'm going to click on an example book that so you can see the interior of it that one of our team members here at Storied put together. So you can see that I've got pictures, and then I've got the story, and they are all just listed out that way. So picture story, picture story. The story can be, again, as long as you want. It is not, there's not a limit. So most of these are on one page, but they can span multiple pages. And so one thing I want you to really take note of here is this. I'm going to zoom in so I can scan it easier. You'll notice that each story has a QR code. And so let's say that this book is sitting on your coffee table and someone is looking at it and they see this QR code. They can scan the QR code, and the QR code takes them to the story on the Storied platform, which is super cool because maybe you have more pictures that are part of that story, or maybe you have a PDF that is part of that story. And if you have those additional items, you'll be able to see those. Anyone that scans your QR code for each individual story would be able to see those. Now, where that really gets exciting is when you have an audio file. So I want to share with you just a quick story about our CEO, Kendall. His mom passed away a couple of weeks ago, and he was putting together a memorial book for her. So he asked 30 of his family members to add stories, and in less than a week, they had 65 stories to share about his mom for the memorial service. And what was really exciting is Kendall's mom had a violin and would play the violin. Kendall was able to add audio files to the story itself. Now, if you have a hardcover book and someone scans that QR code, then that will take them to this page. They would be able to see all of these audio files, and I'm just going to play a couple for you. So this one here is her talking. Once it gets started.
My father, Emil Fulner, took violin lessons as a young boy in Nuremberg, Germany. He moved to Salt Lake Valley with his family, new converts to the LDS Church, when he was 9 years old.
So that's an example of her just talking. And you can see that he also wrote just a little blurb about things in the different songs at the end, but then I'll play one that is her actually playing the violin. That makes me tear up every time I listen to one, and I've listened to them all multiple times. I can assure you there wasn't a dry eye in the room at the memorial service that day. So this is just one more example of the way that Storied has really transformed family history. We are that end-to-end family history solution that really engages and keeps people captivated and coming back for more. I hope you've learned something new today, and I hope you try out Storied.com.
Thanks, Heather. I really appreciate you doing that. As you can see, we've come a long way from where we were last year at Roots Tech. And the good news is there's still a lot more to come. We have a lot of cool features we'll be rolling out throughout the rest of the year. If you haven't had a chance yet to test out that family search tree import, you should check it out. It is game-changing. I'd like to share a personal story, if I can, about my experience with our product recently. In preparation for Roots Tech, we decided to print several different storied books to help people understand the different kinds of books that you could create. One of the books that I decided to build was a book for my mom. My mom had 5 kids, and she sacrificed a lot in order to raise us and help us grow. And I think a lot of times she maybe feels like we didn't understand the sacrifices that she made, or she feels forgotten. So this was an awesome opportunity to help memorialize and to help her realize and recognize how much we appreciate her. So I created a private group on Storied, and I invited my brothers and my sisters and my brothers-in-law and sisters-in-law and some nieces and nephews, and asked if anyone had stories that they could contribute for the book. In just 3 days, we captured 32 different stories with photos and illustrations that helped highlight some of the memories and life lessons that we'd gotten from my mom. I had the opportunity to take that book to my mom and give it to her as a gift. And it was a super awesome experience. It was a very meaningful gift for my mom. And it's something that she can go back to, something that we all now have that can be passed down so that others can understand the impact that my mom has had. It's things like this that make me super excited about what we're doing at Storied. I'm so grateful to be a part of it. We're creating an end-to-end platform that lets you build trees, that lets you do research, find records, but also lets you capture stories and memories and then print those in a book. It truly runs the full gamut. And we're able to do it at an affordable price. So what would I encourage you to do? Take us up on the Roots Tech offer, right? So for Roots Tech, we're offering a bundle. You can get unlimited access to Newspaper Archive, to Storied, and a free Storied book for 99 bucks. So there'll be a slide here, or a screen at the end of this video where you can scan the QR code. I'm sure that there's links on the site. You can also just go to storied.com and take us up on it. But we would love to have you join us and be a part of the next generation of family history. Appreciate you guys. Until we have a chance to talk again, take care and happy storytelling.